It is time to call the Guthrie Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, August 21st to order. Can we have a roll call, Mr. Hankey?
Commissioner Chappell,
Here.
Commissioner Ogden,
Here.
Commissioner Powell, Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Wood.
Here.
Vice Chair Smith, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there any public comments from anyone before we get on with the meeting? This is not pertaining to what we're here tonight for. This is just if anybody else has anything they want to bring up. Undoubtedly not, so we will go to item 3, which is approval of the minutes from June 12th. Do I have a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes. Can we get a vote, Mr. Hankey?
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Chappell,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Ogden.
Yes.
The minutes from the June 12th Planning Commission meeting are approved as written.
Thank you. We'll move on to item 4, which is consideration of and recommendation to the City Council regarding a request for a special use permit at 402 South Drexel Street for the purpose of placing a manufactured home in an R1 single-family dwelling zoned area. Mr. Hankey, would you like to comment on that?
We have received an application from Ms. Charlene Hagens to place a manufactured residential structure at 402 South Drexel Street here on the east side of Guthrie. Tonight's action, we're requesting a recommendation for approval or to deny the request for the issuance of a special use permit for the placement of this structure. Zoning ordinance number 2422 does not allow as a matter of right a manufactured structure in an R1 single-family dwellings, but it does allow it by review and the issuance of a special use permit. The surrounding land use for the subject property is R1 single-family dwellings. The typical notification protocol was in effect. Notice was published in the Guthrie News Leader on July 21st, 2014, and 26 letters notifying adjacent property owners within 300 feet of the subject property. 26 letters notified them of this public hearing tonight. The applicant is here tonight. You should have in your packet some photographs that were submitted, and the applicant is here to answer any specific questions that you may have regarding the design, the color of the house, off-street parking, landscaping, and anything of that nature. Thank you.
Chairman, did we receive any information back from any of the letters at all?
We didn't. We received no comments regarding the application.
Ms. Hagens, would you like to come up and talk about your manufactured home? We need you to come up here and
Do you all have a photograph of it?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is the, Ms. Hagens, is this the exact one that you're going to have, or is this, can you pass that to me? You can keep that over at your microphone there, Ms. Hagens.
Yes.
So that's the design and the color and everything that you're going to have at your,
Yellow, yes.
okay.
he'll have the front porch on it.
Yes, definitely. One on the back.
Ms. Hagens, is this just an empty lot right now?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We took the house off of it about 10 years ago. We
Okay.
tore it down, and
Okay.
it was,
The part of the requirements for new homes to be established in an R1 zoning is we generally require off-street parking, which may include an attached or detached garage, 1.5-car garage. Not that that will be the case tonight, but that's typically what we do. Had you planned on landscaping the house after it come in, putting some bushes and flowers out in front and everything like that? That's another requirement. You usually have to plant a tree, a small tree of some
Well,
sort.
yeah, I do have trees, there's some up there that need to come
Okay,
down, but.
if
I
there's
do
still
have-
some up on the property, that'd probably be good enough.
Yeah, they're still there.
Ms. Hagan, and I attended one of these meetings before I was a commissioner, where the grate on the roof, this is exactly the one that you're going to have, even with the little room on the end, or the little jut out at the side?
Yeah, but because it's connected like to a room back there, it's got a mud room. It's got, on the back it has a mud room in there, and it has a bathroom in between the 2 bedrooms in the back,
Yeah,
and
but
then it has
see this little jut out on the side
that
here?
right there.
Yeah, that's part of the,
Yeah.
which direction were you going to?
I was going to ask if I could change it from the 402 and take it to the side of Spring. I didn't know if I could do that or not, but
You can
And-
change the
That
way the
was-
house faces?
yes, it's
Yeah,
still,
we
can I do
can-
that or no, not?
We can work that out.
Okay.
If there's enough room on the lot, you
Right.
can probably do that. I think tonight, we're just going to try to focus, if it's okay, that you have the house on this property.
Okay.
My question too is also, it says, on here that it's, what's the definition, Jim, of a permanent foundation? It's going to be placed on a permanent foundation?
Yeah, usually what they do is they pour a footing that's 18 inches deep. We require that because of the frost depth here in this part of the state, and then we have to go 6 inches beyond that. So it would be 18 inches deep, and the building code calls for a minimum of 12-inch wide for a one-story structure, ranch-style structure. So it'd have to be at least 12 by 18. And then when that house comes in, they can use some Simpson strong tie type anchorage bolts to bolt it down. If not, then we're going to have to use some other method of mechanically fastening it to the slab for uplift resistance for tornadoes and storms and such.
So, and by slab,
That's just the concrete floor that it would set on.
so this house is going to have a concrete floor?
Yes, it's gonna, actually, she says is they're gonna lay the concrete, then they're gonna take and put bolted to that underneath it and.
So this
make it-
doesn't come in on wheels?
No, no wheels. I don't want wheels. I want it to be a foundation. It's gonna be on a foundation.
And that would meet the city requirement, Commissioner Chapel.
Ma'am, why is, I guess my question is, why have you chosen to go with a pre-manufactured house as opposed to a traditional stick-built house on a slab with the type of financing available today? Sometimes it's actually more beneficial to go with an actual stick-built
I didn't
house.
really know anything about them, and I just knew about this, and I went with that. I didn't know anybody or nothing like that, so I went with this because I liked it. And I didn't know that it would be any different until I started getting into it, that it would be, so.
Well, one suggestion that I would have for Ms. Hagan, whether or not we approve it or not, I did, and of course, I didn't know that it didn't have wheels on it. There were a lot of things I didn't know.
Right.
But I do know that some people that had talked about putting in mobile home had talked to Sue Ducharme, and I invited her here tonight because of often she can get such a low interest rate
Heard.
for a conventional home. Everything that I've read about mobile home and manufactured homes. Now, I know that there are modular homes that are built on site. This sounds a little different than that. I'm not for sure that
that this type of home, and I'd have to do more research on it because I don't know if this is the type of home that would appreciate or not. I imagine with a slab foundation, the likelihood that it wouldn't depreciate as quickly because it's certainly not being placed to be moved ever.
Right.
But oftentimes, manufactured and mobile homes are sort of like purchasing a car. They're worth more the day you get them than they will ever be. Whereas a conventional, stick-built home is in 10 years is usually worth more than what you paid for it when you got it. So as far as an investment, and if there was a possibility that you could, like I said, visit with Sue, even if, no matter what we do, you could still explore your options here if there was a chance that you could get something that would create wealth for you and you could get it at a lower interest rate, and you've already got the land.
Yeah.
So it might be something that would behoove you to explore all your options. And you could build a stick-style home just like this one. It could be everything you wanted. But like I said, I'm new to this moving the house in on a concrete slab.
Can I join her there for
Yes.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hagan and I have visited several times, but I had no idea that she was thinking of
This
mobile.
way.
We did talk about several things that she could do. She was actually looking for a builder to build her a house. So I didn't give her the pros and cons of this. So I appreciate that you're doing that because Mr. Chappell is right. When it comes to it will be more worth today than it ever will be again because of the material that's used, not so much in the structure, but in the trim, in the windows, in the siding, in the types and differences in the drywall. Those are the things that seem to kind of deteriorate before a regular home, I say a regular, stick-built
Right.
home would. And he's right, we can provide a 1% interest for you on a mortgage. So that would keep your payments, I don't know, are we allowed to ask what she is going to pay for this, at what interest rate?
We might be able to do that away from the
Afterwards?
meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have qualified to purchase these kinds of homes cost a lot of money. That porch, that veranda cost you a lot extra.
Yeah.
That foundation that you're going to have to put in, I have a feeling you're going to have to pay for outside of this yourself and have that put in. So that's probably not included in your financing unless you discussed that. Did you?
I
No.
did.
You did, okay. Is it included, or are they asking you to?
It's going to be included,
Okay.
but like you say.
Right. So whatever that interest rate is, I'm pretty sure it's not 1%, which would, let's assume this might be 100,000. It could be 89 or 90,000. But your payments at 1% on a 33-year mortgage, which is what USDA, its federal program, would give you, your payments would be less than $400 a month. So just looking at it financially, you might consider that. And for just a few dollars more, that'll include taxes and insurance and
Right.
everything. So it's a matter of when you come to the office next time, you have to tell me everything.
Okay.
And we'll complete the application, help you gather your documents, and then we will present it to USDA. It will take a couple of months, but if you go to a bank for a mortgage, it's going to take a couple of months or three to get that anyway. So once you're approved, you can talk to one of those builders I gave you,
Okay.
or pick your own. You don't have to use anyone that,
Ms. Hagan, will you tell me, just so, because I'm sort of new at this and I'm wanting to learn as I go along too, but would this, Generally, I've heard that with these homes, that they're generally financed by the home manufacturer. Is that what was going to happen here?
Yeah.
They actually sell it
Uh-huh.
to something more like a loan company than a bank. Banks won't finance most.
And actually, I did a little bit of research, and this was something I was going to present to you and your family. But this is, I got this off Loan Safe, and it's called and it refers to mobile homes. And it also refers to the company that sell these. But oftentimes buying these homes is like buying a car or a truck. Like I said, it's worth more
Yeah.
the day you buy it than it ever will be. And if you have a conventional style home further away, oh, sorry, I wasn't paying any attention to you, sorry. But anyway, this is some paperwork that you can look over that I just did a little research on the
Thank you.
internet. You're welcome.
Did that help you, ma'am?
Yeah, this did help.
Mrs. Higgins, I know the area quite well, and I love the many old homes in Guthrie, as I'm sure you do too. And there's a particularly lovely one right across the street from the property. And they seem to be doing, sure, some of them need some upkeep and rework, but they seem to be doing some of that work. And I think one of the reasons that we have this type of an ordinance here about the mobile homes or the manufactured homes is they just have a little tendency to have a little similar cookie look that just don't seem to go in with our typical residential homes that we find in our R1 areas. And as nice as they can be, I really think perhaps you have a great opportunity in working with Sue here.
I think so.
And I'm sorry, I just really don't feel that this type of a home fits in our residential areas here in Guthrie, as nice as they are, but really
You
not,
can have one
really not
just
there
as
on
nice
Drexel.
that will be worth more 10 years from now than the day you move in it.
And if I might add to this, what everybody else is saying, these homes, even though they are stated to be completely to national building codes and are supposed to come up to building codes, they come in, they're finished. You can't see inside them. So a traditional stick-built home, the city can come in, and for your protection, now we can actually, or the city can, inspect the plumbing, the electrical, the type of lumber used, the way it's framed, the type of foundation, everything all the way through. Where this comes in, you just have to take their word that it was inspected and brought into a standard, but whose standard? They say it's National Building Code, but there's no way of knowing because it's already covered up. This way they can be looked, and for your protection down the road, and that's why a stick-built home generally will appreciate where these don't, and it's actually better for you. That way it can be supervised throughout the entire construction procedure.
Well, just for everyone's information, edification as well, manufactured housing is required by federal law to meet the National Building Code standards. And I'm sure that 99.9% of them do. What Commissioner Wood is saying is that you don't have the advantage of seeing each phase of your construction open
Right.
and inspected to make certain that it is the way it should be. But as long as I've got the microphone here, whether you explore options with Sue or not, this application tonight is a request for a special use permit to put that manufactured home there. The Planning Commission will make their considerations, and they will vote yes or no to a recommendation to the City Council. The City Council has the final authority to tell you if you can or you cannot. Excuse me. That will be at a separate meeting, most likely on the 16th of September. Shelby Lewis will call you and let you know when that meeting is, for sure. So even if they vote no tonight, they're not making the recommendation, it still goes before the City Council for their decision, whether they say yes or no. The council has the final approval. So that's what we need to kind of focus on tonight. You can investigate your options with Sue. I think that's a great idea, but the application tonight is specifically for your request for the special use
Right.
permit.
I just wanted to say to the family that this is done through a nonprofit, Neighborhood Solutions, and I gave you one of our brochures. We are not paid. I'm not paid. I'm a volunteer. But the organization is not paid in any way for this service. It's strictly a community service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hagan.
Thank you.
Did we want to talk about off-street parking or anything?
That was,
I don't know that that was a problem.
think we need
was there going,
at this time.
Would say, with all due respect to your thoughts here, I hope you've kind of heard our concerns. I would have to vote against, I'd vote against approval. Make that motion.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Motion been made and seconded to disapprove the special use permit. Can we have a vote, Mr. Hankey?
The motion on the floor is to deny the request for a special use permit to place a manufactured structure at 402 South Drexel. Commissioner Wood,
yes, to deny.
yes to deny. Commissioner Chappell,
Yes to deny.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes to deny.
Commissioner Ogden.
Yes to deny.
Okay, we have 4 votes against the application to deny the application. Ms. Hagan's, Ms. Lewis will still contact you for the council meeting. It's probably September 16th, but she'll verify that. It's at 7 p.m. right here in this council chambers. You need to be here because they're going to ask you more questions, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Now, Jim, if she changes her mind between then and now, can she remove the request?
Your request for this application will still be on the agenda, but it will be noted that you withdrew your application. But if you decide to show up, it will be on the docket for that council meeting. Thank you.
We'll move on to item 5, comments from the staff.
We have none. Thank you.
Number 6, comments from the commissioners.
Your turn, Mr. Wood.
I really appreciate you all being here tonight.
you
With
for
what we
coming.
came up with tonight, I'd just like to say that I think that you have much better options and much economical and building options than just going with this, and I think you'll be much happier and that's the only reason that that's
look-
why we're so careful with these things.
We look forward to seeing you live there.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming.
thank you for coming.
Thank you.
No comments for me, Chairman.
Number 7, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So made.
Second.
We are adjourned.